help their D-line, Keyon White, before the MyCole Williams injury. Now the MyCole Williams injury means you have to go get another guy, and you guys didn't. So what do you say, John, to the people who say, why didn't you make a trade to help the defensive line?
Well, first of all, I'd say, it's a real shame. MyCole, just an awesome kid, and has been playing good football. The stat sheet hasn't been probably as prolific as people would like, but been playing really good football. He graded really high each and every week and was, I think, really close to start delivering the type of football that everybody, probably fans, expected. But our eyes were seeing a really good football player who was developing. He's a great kid. That was really just sad. It kind of made a great weekend that I was explaining a little bit somber, and the whole team felt that. And he's such a great kid, wise beyond his years, and people really have an affinity for him around here. So to do it like at the end of a game, 3 minutes left, that was tough, and the locker room felt that. So our thoughts and just really go out to MyCole, and he's going to be fine. Clean ACL tear, and that's no minor thing, but he's going to be all right. He's going to attack his rehab. I think it's awesome. It's not awesome that Nick Bosa did it, but Nick Bosa is going to be there to help guide him through. I've already seen the two of them down there, and so if you're going to go through something like that, to have some people, and Fred will be down there as well, and to have some people to help you kind of through that for a young man is going to be awesome. He'll be back, and he'll be fine. And as for the trade thing, look, the one thing I'll say is, we've been working on that for a long time. The deadline's just an end point. We've been making trades. We're top 4 in the league in terms of trades made this year. With Bryce Huff, Brian Robinson, Sky Moore, Keyon White. We've done a lot to try to improve our team, and we did right down to the very end. We've always said we're going to stay true to our process of putting a value on players. And when the player's a complete difference maker like a Christian McCaffrey, you might keep going. But at some point, you have to have a discipline, and that's what we did. We weren't going to make an overpayment, and I think we like our group. We're fortunate. Looks like we're going to get Bryce Huff back if he continues to get through this week of practice. We add Keyon, and he'll contribute to continue to add in his contributions to our group. They're a well-coached group, and that's what we have. We've got a lot of belief in that group, and we move forward.
John, to your point, you guys haven't made 4 trades throughout the season, so you've given up some draft capital to invest on the roster this year. So what can you tell us about that balance of trying to compete this year but also not trying to mortgage the future?
That's exactly it. That's the needle you have to thread. And, we've done it a lot in the past where we've given up a lot. Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, just about every year we've made one. We made a bunch this year, but you have to stay true. And that's not to say we weren't going to do anything, but we weren't going to get fleeced. We weren't going to overpay. It's just not good business. And, as they say, sometimes the best deals you do are the ones you don't do. And, I felt like in this case, we felt like as an organization that was the best course. And we got, as I mentioned before, we have a lot of belief. We're a 6-3 football team. We've been in every game, and have another awesome opportunity to try to get another division game. We're doing really well in our division. We need the fans fired up and ready to go this Sunday, 1:25 at Levi's.
John, you used the phrase, we weren't going to make an overpayment. And then Kyle yesterday to the media said the asking price was too much. Is it fair to say that the market this year, the prices were too high?
Yeah, it was a little off. And like I said now, when you have just a true difference maker, but the players were there, it was a combination of things. We were in on a lot of players. Sometimes it was just a 1-year rental, and we really didn't want to get involved in that. Not to say that we wouldn't, and then, is the player a true needle mover, a difference maker? And if you can't say that, well, then really good draft picks, that doesn't make much sense either, just to throw somebody else in the mix, because we like the guys we have. So at the end of the day, we made a judgment, and like I said, we have been active. I'd kind of throw Kendrick Bourne in that same mix. We've acquired a lot of players to help this team, and now you throw them all out there, and we say, look, this is our team. We're a really good team, and let's keep forging ahead.
Yeah, and one of those players that you traded for earlier this offseason was Bryce Huff, and it sounds like he has a chance to play this weekend. So I don't know if you guys are viewing this as reinforcements at the trade deadline, getting Bryce Huff back out there healthy, but how big of a difference can he make on that front seven, John?
I think everybody's seen what Bryce can do when he's out there, and I'd say he has been a difference maker. He's been a breath of fresh air. It's always nice when you know a player extremely well, and Salah came, and had Bryce in our system. So sometimes he goes to Philly and it didn't quite work because they're asking him to do different things. But Salah, Greg Scruggs, who's a assistant D-line coach here, was with him in New York. So to have that kind of inside the building knowledge, and then our eyes to see the same thing. But I'll tell you that Bryce has been better than advertised. His ability to get to the quarterback in a hurry and be very disruptive has been awesome for us. And so if we can get him back, that's huge for us. And we hope that's the case this Sunday.
John, we're just kind of continuing. I don't want to beat the entire interview is not going to be about the trade deadline thing, but I did want to ask a big picture question going back to even March. I think you used the word reset in one of the interviews. I think I did see that. So is it fair to say
retool, but
okay, retool. All right. Is it fair to say that like you guys being disciplined and sticking to your process on November 5th, now the 6th, goes back to like March? Like you guys, this is a long-term plan you guys have been on?
Well, I think that's always the case, Murph. If you're doing good business, you're thinking about the now and the future. And so, I think that's always the case. Now, we did know we had an opportunity this last year with a really healthy draft class in terms of the picks. And if we could make those work for us, it could really help this team infuse youth and help with the finances in terms of throwing some young guys in there, get a little younger in the process, which we felt like we needed as a team. So we did that one year. You have to continue to do that. Having said that, you're never afraid to make a move if you think that's worth it, but you got to try to satisfy both, and that's what we try to navigate. And I think we've done a good job of it. And understand the fans. I love the passion of the Niner fans. I think also, our past history has created some expectations where every year we're going to make a splash. And, I believe we have made a splash, but we'll leave that to the fans. And I love that fans want us to do things. We feel like we've done a lot, and we love our team. And we're going to continue to go out there and fight, try to improve. That's the huge thing. If you can keep getting better during the course of the season, you got an opportunity to be there at the end, and that's what we want to do.
And, John, we heard both you and Kyle talk about the importance of if you guys do make a trade about how it can affect the team next year. Keyon White is a player that is still under contract for next year. So what was your review of seeing him on the field for the first time this past weekend?
I thought it was really good considering, I think, gosh, when did that happen? It was like he got here right before practice Wednesday. So he took the flight from Boston out to SFO, had to go get all his physicals, got on the field in time for practice, got some movement, got a crash course in how we do things on Wednesday, went to meetings, stayed here late into the night Wednesday, went out Thursday for a padded practice. And we're also asking the guy to play outside and then move inside in some pass rush situations. He worked all the way, got back on a plane, went all the way back east. So it's interesting to think some of these guys that get traded, all that's going through. I remember I met him down in the parking lot, and he had 4 big bags. It's like everything he owned, he had with him. And so there's a lot going on in these guys' lives when they're traded. And I thought he was impactful in the game, and I think that's just scratching the surface. So really proud of Keyon and his effort. I think he's going to be a great fit for us, and we're very excited about where it can go and where he is already and where it can go, because he's got a lot of skills that do really well in our system.